Welcome back, everyone. We're down at our 3-acre property where we have been cultivating when we can. We are starting our market garden greenhouse. We gave a short update yesterday on day one, halfway through the first half of the greenhouse build. We have a 52-foot greenhouse, and I'm going to talk about this kit we got a little bit. So we ordered two $200 kits off of Amazon. Cheap greenhouses, they are not super sturdy. So what we're going to do is brace them up, and we are going to double layer this. We are going to make two polys, and we're going to blow air in between them, and we are going to have a winter greenhouse that we are going to market garden through the winter in zone 4B here. Let's take a walk through the greenhouse real quick. You can see that all of our frame here goes all the way down. We're going to be taking these boards and bracing our boards up on this, and that way we'll give a buffer so we can run our next layer of poly. So we will have two frames and two polys. So we'll have to put our first layer of poly and then our second layer, and then we will have an inch or two gap which we will be able to blow air into and fill with warm air and create an insulating layer throughout the winter. This greenhouse is absolutely massive compared to the one we were working with at our 1/4 acre property. We did not get all of the braces up on this half of the greenhouse, but this entire section of our greenhouse is completely taut, nice and tight. It holds good solid weight in the wind. I'm interested to see what it looks like and how it feels once we get our poly on it and seal it down and bury that poly in. So one way we are gonna brace these greenhouses up is with some strong welded wire, and we got some cattle panels that we're gonna run on the outside of this greenhouse before we put our poly on to ensure that we do not get a collapse of this greenhouse. So having all of these baseboards will ensure that we can attach all of our cattle panels right to them and have a nice solid structure. So we're gonna have a cattle panel tunnel around this frame, and right now we're only about $400 in. When we looked up 50+ foot greenhouses online, we were shocked at the price, and they may be nice in quality and they may be nice and solid, but they are so expensive. We were looking at $3,000 greenhouses plus, and here we are spending $200. We got to get poly. We're going to get double poly, so we're looking at spending about another $200 to $500 on poly. So we may be about $1,000 in once we are completed with this project. Super excited to bring this update on this greenhouse build. We've got all of this up, and our ground is all tilled up right now, so my head is almost hitting the ceiling on this greenhouse. But we are going to till all this out, and we will lay plastic down and do our rows. This will be so much different by the time I bring an update on this build. So we are going to be about under $1,000, and we completely paid for that with our farmers market money. Absolutely awesome. So we achieved success where we wanted to. We got to sell all of our products. My wife sells soap, like I've said. I sell all our veggies and herbs and plants. You name it, we've got it at the market. So we are bringing all that to the table, making a decent profit, and in turn, we are turning that profit into a 52-foot greenhouse, and it is all DIY. These directions absolutely sucked for this thing, and I will drop a link to the greenhouse and you can read the reviews on Amazon yourself, because I was super iffy before I bought this, and I am glad I did, because I'm going to be able to work with this. And this is a nice solid aero frame. It is nice and hollow, but it is steel and it is stainless, so it will not rust out on us. So we are going to get the frame and the base built up on this so we can attach our welded wire and all of our cattle panels to this, and then we can take some measurements and get our poly ordered, and we can start growing in this bad boy. This is going to be our fall and winter market hothouse. I am going to heat this bad boy with compost. It is a lot of work in the making. We have a lot of work ahead of us. Come on and follow along with me. I kind of want to give a review on this greenhouse, and I want to show how well put together and where the lack of well put together is. We have two greenhouses put together. So we have this central doorway that we are going to leave open, and we are just going to go around that. So out here on the northern end of our greenhouse, we are going to put our compost. We are going to heat this greenhouse with compost. So this is the northern side. We have plenty of room tilled up to work with this here. And this whole side is going to be plywood and an insulated wall. and we'll have a massive pile of compost, not sure how big yet, but we are going to transfer heat through this wall right here, our northern wall, same as our small greenhouse. It has worked for us, so we are going to continue doing that.
I was going to do the same thing.
Now for $200, I am super excited to have this, and I will pay $200 again if I need to build more greenhouses. This is our market greenhouse, so this is our first big experiment. This is probably like 20 times bigger than the greenhouse we have now, so we have a lot of room to work. And if you know me and follow my channel, this is going to be fun. Why we bought this greenhouse kit, or kits, instead of using our own material right away, we wanted the subframe to start with, and then I am going to use PVC to go on the outside of it to form our gap. So we did not want to use lumber. Lumber is super expensive right now. All of the lumber we are using for our baseboards are reclaimed, and we are coating them in linseed oil in order to keep them from breaking down and decaying. So we are going to be able to form that barrier with recycled wood for free, and that is where we're saving money also. We have a decent amount in, but we don't have nearly as much money in as somebody who ordered a real kit from a real distributor. We just ordered probably some Chinese kit off of Amazon, like I said. So these kits are about $200, and I would recommend it for an experienced gardener or a do-it-yourselfer because, like I said, we've got the subframe to work with. This is a massive upgrade compared to what we're working with at our quarter-acre property. So we are super excited, and I couldn't wait to bring an update for this. As we work out the details and the framing of the ends, and as we get this structure together today, which I wanted to bring an update before we put any work in. I just wanted to update as soon as we got all of the frame of the kits together without any modification, and I wanted to show how well they were put together. Some of the holes were a little iffy, but for the most part, everything slid together and all of the bolts went right in. And with a drill, I did this project nearly by myself. The only parts that I needed help with was getting started when I started the end caps. Now, when you start the greenhouse, you'll want a friend or a helper in order to get the pieces started. Once you get your frame and you get 2 rungs put together, you are good to go, and you can just boom, it goes together like Legos. It is absolutely awesome. I had no problem putting the second one together after I put the first one together. The first one took me about 2 hours. The second one took me about 1 hour last night. Yesterday we put this together before the sun got up, and then last night we came down here and put this together right before the sun went down. So here we are with just the kits, and I wanted to show how well they were. So this is just the beginning of our permaculture nursery. This is our first greenhouse on our 3-acre property. This is my boyhood home. This is where I grew up. This is the land I walked my whole life. Now my kids get to walk out here. So we are slowly cultivating this slightly over 3-acre property here, and we are having great success. The soil is fertile here, so all we have to do is work it. We have a few rocks that we're finding in our soil, but we are not having a problem with that. We can run a tiller through here and we can get our mats down. We will use rubber plastic in order to get our rows out, and then we will start cranking out plants. We can start planting in here now before we put a poly on because it'll be too hot without a shade cloth. Now I am 6 foot, 6'1" on a good day, and I don't hit my head down here where we have the ground more level. We have more lumpy soil down on the other side. My head was hitting the ceiling almost. So we got to level that out a little bit, create more walkways. There's a lot of work ahead of us, like I said, but we're willing to take that on. We are excited to get this project going here. As you can see, this greenhouse is a lot bigger than it looks when we're inside it. We've got 52 feet from 2 26-foot kits. And if I had to give these kits a review, I would give them probably like a 7.5 to an 8 because they could be structurally more sound, but I am happy with what I received. I am happy with the exoskeleton and subframe we have to work with here. So on the front of our greenhouse, this is the southern facing side, the southernmost facing side. We get the southern sun coming up from behind us. This will receive 100% winter daylight sun. So where that leaves us is we have to keep this whole front southern side open basically. So we have to figure out how to have a frame, a door that's big enough to wheelbarrow in and be able to see through it. So what I'm thinking is using some old recycled windows we have all the way around our door frame, so we can keep double pane windows on the entire outside and frame our greenhouse with old windows on the front, because both of our polys will come and seal flat. We are not going to poly the entire front or back of our greenhouse. They will all be tacked right over the edge here. So both the northern and southern side of this greenhouse are going to be hard framed. They will have hard insulated walls. The southern side is going to be just windows, and the northern side is going to be all wood and insulation, so we can run our compost and transfer heat without losing any heat at the same time. If anybody has any questions or suggestions, please drop them in the comments below. I am reaching out to every one of my subscribers, and if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to help me along with this project, because I am open to modifying my plans, because I have a good concept of what I want to do. I've drawn it, I've brainstormed quite a bit about this before I even ordered this. If I could bounce information off of people with the same ideas and the same knowledge and the same intellectual levels, I would love that, in order to create a small community to help me build this greenhouse the best I can in order to survive a -20 to -60 winter here in Zone 4B. Our goal is to get this completely finished before winter here, so we can provide ourselves with the safe, warm grow space all winter to provide at our local indoor market that we stumbled upon. So we are going to provide at our local indoor market this winter and fall kale, whatever we can provide, lettuce, spinach, whatever's low light and cold tolerant, we will be growing it here. And that's super exciting for us, because we want to get our hand in getting more greenhouses, getting into selling to restaurants locally, local business, supporting local business. That's going to help us build into a real business. All of this is just a slow plan. It's all in place. We are building our permaculture nursery from the ground up. I just want to thank everybody for coming along on this update, because I was super excited. I wanted to share everything. I got my little kids down here. They are helping me. My wife helped me set up the greenhouse. We have been so busy with our market. Just like everybody else, it's summertime. Everything's in full swing. So we are selling tons and tons of items in order to fund our greenhouse. We are achieving our goals while living our dream. Me and my wife both wanted to sell at the market. We want to open our own business and create our own business and start it from the ground up. She can sell her soaps, she can sell everything she crafts, she makes tons of items, she uses all of our herbs, she cans everything for us. So we have tons of information that she can share and I can share all together. We're going to continue plugging along, sharing on all of these updates on YouTube here. So I thank everybody for watching these videos. Don't forget to bounce some information off me. Drop something in the comments below if you have any thoughts or ideas pertaining to this greenhouse or the build that we're talking about. I kind of tried to explain what we're doing so everybody could get a grasp of it. We're gonna have a double blown poly, so we should be able to achieve the nice buffer from our winter temperatures here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as we continue on this journey to our self-sufficiency and a permaculture paradise on our 3-acre property. We've got tons and tons of stuff planted. Everything's really small right now because we've just begun. About a year ago we started transforming this property. We've got a ton of stuff coming up here. We've got all of our free wood chips. We've got all of our market garden items, all of our melons. We've been super busy. We've got rounds and rounds of green beans coming here. Our 1/4-acre property is all decked out with a whole bunch of market items, and our garden's packed down there. So I can't wait to get down here and fully transform this place. We have been so busy and everything takes time. So we've got to put the work in before we can obtain all of the goals that we're trying to achieve here. I want to thank everybody for following along, and I kind of want to dedicate the last little part of this video to Edible Acres. I was very inspired. I've been watching them for about 8 years or so. That dude is awesome. He has such good information, such valuable information. He's a little bit warmer zone, in like zone 7B, 7A or something like that. We're over here in 4B, so I am struggling to keep everything going that is not as cold hardy. Just wanted to give a little shout out to Edible Acres there. I doubt he will ever see this, but I really am inspired by him, and he has inspired me and my wife on our journey to this self-sufficiency. I've learned a lot from him, and from reading books. I want to tell everybody that you need to grab some permaculture books, grab gardening books, grab homesteading books. I will say that the most valuable book I've ever had, my late grandmother had given me a book from 1967, 68, and it was a self-sufficiency book. Not very huge. Every word is of very, very important value. It talks about the land and how to produce on your own land without killing your soil, and how to regeneratively grow, and what the cycle of every animal is in a permaculture system. Because if we go back 50 years, all of the old farms did have a permaculture system, not like it is today where it's massive production of corn or massive production of pigs, cows, chickens. It's very overwhelming with what we are doing to this planet. So if we can change our little corner, Edible Acres has a massive following. So if we can continue this on and get a good following, you will not be disappointed, because we are going to start our business. It's just my wife, my kids, and I. So we are really, really putting it on, working hard, trying to achieve our goals. And I hope everybody sees all this hard work and sees what it's worth and learns a little bit from this. I just want to thank everybody for watching. Don't forget to follow along for an update next time we bring this. It should look a lot different.